what I heard in the night, what a fright. Must have been a parasite in my past life. I don't wanna ever come down from a high. My soul was sending to the sky. Guess it's you and I. Gone, but I'm feeling too alive. Trying to get me out of spite. Someone's got me, yeah, take a big amount. Some kind of traumatic shit. Niggas wanna see dead bodies. Probably not there running with no automatic clips. Moving scatty, all erratic and shit. Niggas pussy licking batty and shit. Oh, you mad? Then come at me, you prick. Make a move, better and it quick. I assume you'll be coming for blood. That makes two of us, that makes two of us. Venom. 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 True as a stick up, hands in the air, put the money in the bag, all cash, all cash. Venom. Venom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom.
Okay. This is not going to be a topic. Sorry, I was testing my mic. This ain't going to be a topic I like doing, but it's a topic that needs to be done because unfortunately we live in a goddamn society where we can't just simply discuss football and discuss sports without motherfuckers having to bait and make shit up and go and get into the this mindset, this idea that every goddamn thing has to be a conspiracy and stay woke situations. You gotta be like that, right? Here's the reality, and this is going to suck the things that are going to be said here for a lot of people who really are gonna just they really want to prove this narrative about hating on black quarterbacks. The first pick of the NFL draft was Cameron Ward out of Miami, out of the University of Miami, a black man. But I know how this is gonna go. See, I already see the writing on the wall with a lot of you. You guys are so full of fucking shit. You think I can't read between the lines. I see it. You guys are gonna do this because you have to always come up with a backup ulterior plan. It's not that Cam Ward's black that's gonna disprove this retarded narrative of why Shedeur Sanders isn't being picked. Even again, that should be enough of face value to tell you that it doesn't matter. We're talking about football here. We're talking about winning money on the line. We're talking about winning shit, winning titles and chips and cashing checks and shit. We're not talking about this ridiculous bullshit that y'all live and die on because you have no fun in your lives. Shedeur Sanders was not picked in the first round of the NFL draft for a few reasons. I don't think he's as good a prospect as you guys think he is. Now, would I have taken Shedeur in the first round? If I was Pittsburgh, yes. The problem is taking him at that spot. Do you guys really think he's a good prospect? Like a great one? Because I think the problem is you guys are getting your wires crossed here. Shedeur Sanders, to me, is not a brilliant, great prospect. He's a good quarterback. And even in college, I always had this this issue. He played in a very weak spot when it came to his college career. Now, before anyone gets on me, I want to say, well, Cam Ward played at Miami. They didn't play anybody in the ACC. No, but he had marquee wins in the swamp, which Florida was actually pretty good this year, and he went in there and dismantled them. He took it to Louisville, who beat Clemson this year. Though Louisville is no joke, he has had actually decent wins, and he's performed well in all his games. Virginia Tech was a lot better than people wanted to give credit for. Shedeur, I guess he tore up USC, but everyone can tear up USC. When Caleb Williams was playing there, I guess that in his first year at Colorado, that was a marquee game. His toughest game was Oregon, and we don't want to talk about that tape because that was just a beatdown. Now, granted, is it all Shedeur's fault or whatever? No, the team was not well constructed. I mean, even in the second year, they had offensive line issues to an extent. But even then, Colorado got immensely better the following year, I guess. But even then, looking at who they played on their schedule, I wasn't really that impressed by who they beat. And again, I just said it. Here's the thing. Well, people are going to always talk shit and want to do this whole nonsense. As a Miami Hurricanes fan, I guess you could say I'm biased, but I said this last year and got shit for it. Cameron Ward is a 10 times better prospect than Shedeur Sanders. It wasn't actually that close. I said it when I watched him at Wazoo, that because of Washington State and a lack of offensive line and firepower they have, now they had some damn good coaching, yes, to an extent, I'll give you that, but they lacked real D1 firepower, that Cam Ward didn't to me look as good as he could have. Now he went down to Miami, who has NFL talent on the offensive line. You think I'm playing the top 3 pick is coming from Miami next year by the name of Francis Mauigoa. He could legitimately opt out of this season right now. Francis could opt out of Miami right now and say, I'm just going to focus on the NFL draft. Miami wouldn't even really be that bothered. That's the scary part. They got depth. They can start another guy. And they'll still do damn well. You think I'm playing? That's how deep that line is. But 2, he would be a consensus top 5 pick easily. There is no doubt in my mind. Okay? That's who's on your line. You also have 2 to 3 other first rounders potentially on that offensive line. So of course, Cam went down to a situation that actually had legit NFL talent. You have NFL prospects for firepower. Why Xavier Restrepo is probably going to get drafted this year, maybe in a later round. Sure, Jacoby George has been looked at as being drafted. Elijah Arroyo probably might be drafted in the second round. He might jump to the second round. I wouldn't be surprised. He might jump. I'm thinking more third round, and I'm thinking Kansas City is going to take him somehow, and I'm going to hate it. He's going to be the heir apparent. When he's healthy, I'm telling you, I will say this about Elijah Arroyo. When healthy, Elijah Arroyo is as good as any tight end prospect in this draft. When healthy. The problem with Elijah Arroyo is he has uh, Colston Loveland talent and ability and athleticism. He just doesn't have the healthy track record that Loveland does, or Tyler Warren. If he was fully healthy, I guarantee you, he would be as good. He'd be up there in the same name as someone like David Njoku coming from Miami in terms of prospect toutability. But unfortunately, injuries are fucking horrible, and that's one of the reasons that he's he really rebounded well this year, and you saw the talent. I mean, you could check the highlights that the like one of the first plays in the Georgia Tech game, he just blows by everyone. It's there, and I'm very terrified that if it's Kansas City, well, heir apparent, like I said. So yes, of course, Cam Ward went down, and you saw what happened when you put talent around him. He showed that, yeah, I'm the shit. And even then, he still did well against teams like freaking Oregon with a significantly less talent. Significantly less talent. Last year, he went to Autzen, wasn't pretty much bald. That's what I'm trying to say. I knew then he was better, and he played for a team with way less talent to throw to. And I'm sorry, even in Colorado, he didn't have some of the weapons that even Shedeur did in Colorado. Granted, the lines are the lines. I will say that. But the thing is, people don't understand is Cam Ward is just is better off platform. He has a better arm than Shedeur Sanders. He has much more freakish accuracy. I've seen this kid play live down south. You have no idea how good this kid is in the pocket. He is so adept, so calm, so poised. It's just the way he throws the RPO. Oh my. Well, I said this when Caleb was coming in, and I seen it the flashes when he plays for the Bears. When he's on point on the RPO, bang, bang, bang. Cam Ward is just like that. Bang, RPO, bang, RPO. On a slant, forget about it. It's automatic. He'll miss sometimes, and I'll go, "What the fuck, Cam?" But then again, I have to think about it. Man, I am so spoiled that I'm used to this guy nailing RPO throws like it's candy. And that right there is what I'm talking about. That is prime talent. His arm is next level. His ability to control the pocket is next level. His IQ is next level. This is not a quarterback that to me that never really got a fair shot because you played for Washington State. Now you go to a real school, thanks to the transfer portal. You have 1 year and you already just blow everyone out the doors. If he went to Miami his junior year, I guarantee you he would have been picked in the top fucking 15 of that draft in a deep quarterback class. He would have been contending in spots with Michael Penix. He would have been contending in spots with someone like like JJ McCarthy. That's how good of a prospect he is. And scouts have been saying this, and you guys don't want to listen because of your bullshit. So now onto the Shedeur thing, because I'm done talking about that crap. Shedeur is a good prospect. His accuracy is consistent. He has very nice pocket presence. He's pretty poised in the pocket. The problem is he doesn't really do anything that wows you off the goddamn screen. He's very consistent. He puts the ball, and that to me, fine. I would take him in the second round just based on that. The problem here, and then we'll list the problems here. But before I get that, I want to keep going with the analysis. He has good footwork. He has very nice vision. He's really poised in the pocket. I'll give him that. He can put the ball on the money, but I'll be real with you. I've seen a lot of his tape where bruh, a lot of screens, a lot of quick action. I don't see him doing the things Cam Ward does on a daily basis, controlling the offense the way that Cam Ward does. I don't see him making the throws Cam Ward does on a daily basis. He can make some good throws, sure, here and there, of course. But I mean, some of his biggest highlights are lucky balls or Travis Hunter bailing his ass out. You know, not Cam Ward. Cam Ward doesn't have that problem. Cam Ward puts the ball in the money. I mean, it really gets you when you watch the Pop Tarts Bowl of all things, and you see how easy it is, where he's just like ripping through. Then fucking Emory Williams comes in, you just see it's night and day in terms of control and in terms of pace and flow. There's levels to this that you guys don't ever look at, and that's the problem when it comes to internet bullshit discussions, because people have this hype they made up in their heads. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Would you guys say that Davis Webb is a top fucking first round quarterback? No, you wouldn't say Davis Webb's a top first round quarterback. Uh-huh. Right. So I don't see Shedeur as that much better of a prospect. Shedeur reminds me of a Texas Tech quarterback. Consistent, great in the great within plays within the system well, is accurate in the from the 10 to 20 range, very intermediate, knows what he's doing, very consistent. And that is important, believe me. It's important. But here's the things you guys aren't understanding what the problems here. Shedeur Sanders' attitude is a problem because he's not talented enough like Cam Ward to get away with it. And I know what the discussion is going to be, and we'll get to that in a minute. But Cam Ward is talented as all holy shit. Caleb Williams, a good example, is talented. And by the way, I don't know why people made attitude issues for him. He never had any attitude issues. There was no attitude issue for Caleb Williams. There was never. Y'all made that shit up in the media, and a lot of you people and a lot of you fans made shit up, and that is disgusting and deplorable. But that's what I expect from you, low lives. No, but you know, Caleb Williams is it was called a generational prospect. I hate using that word, by the way. And you again, if you watch the Bears and you watch like Caleb closely, the flashes were there. In fact, the flashes weren't just there. He had the best rookie season I think I've ever seen a Bears quarterback ever have. Actually, no, not even think. I know he did. He looked more poised, and he had as good a season as maybe Jay Cutler's second best season. That's how good he is already. There's never been a season that maybe Mitch in the division year, I guess, but Mitch was so inconsistent, man. Like way more inconsistent and didn't take care of the ball. There's so many issues with Mitch in the second year, but man, it was fun. It was fun though. Mitch was fun in that second year. I'll give him that. But even then, comparing, Caleb Williams looked 10 times more of a quarterback prospect than I've ever seen a Chicago Bears quarterback look like, maybe since Cutler. And even then, he looks like he's going to surpass that. Okay. When I watch, so, again, that's talent. All right. These guys have talent. The problem with Shedeur is he's not graded high enough, and there are things that people have noticed. Remember when players were coming out poo-pooing when Shedeur Sanders hits movement with his arm? That's a lot bigger of a deal now than it was then, huh? Now I kind of brush it off like, okay, that kind of looks stupid. I mean, that's just a stupid discussion. But now I'm starting to realize if NFL DBs are coming out talking about that your throwing motion as a problem, maybe there's some truth there when you're doing hitches and they can read your eyes, meaning that Shedeur Sanders is very easy to read. So NFL cornerbacks watching tape are like, okay, he's going to do this, and this. His tendencies are going to show this pretty easily. So that is something that you have to be concerned about if you're a scout. You also have to be concerned about his attitude issues. Yes, the fact that he didn't take any interviews with the five, like the top 5 or 6 picks of this round, of the first round. You didn't talk to any of them? What are you doing? You're not taking it seriously. You didn't go to the combine to show anything, which is a problem as well. And even then, all that would be okay, because I will tell you this. Marvin Harrison Jr. did virtually the same shit. The difference is Marvin Harrison Jr. is touted as a basically like once every 7 years type wide receiver prospect. I mean, until a certain someone went to Ohio State right after him as a true freshman and basically blew all his measurables and his tape out the water in one season. I don't think we need to talk about that guy, but let's just be honest. Yeah, but even then, at the time, Marvin Harrison was deemed a special talent. So of course they were going to pick him top 5 either way. He was never going to drop. He didn't have to go to the combine. That's the thing, though. His draft grade was based that high because these scouts have already deemed it. The thing about the combine, that's all bullshit. that's just for later round. That's just for like the to me that after the second round, those like the third and later round players to kind of boost their shit up and show why they deserve a roster spot. But like top prospects, dude, I'm gonna keep it real. The tape has already told you everything you're gonna know. The attitude, all of it. You are not trying to prove yourself at that point. Cam Ward does not need a fucking pro day. Cam Ward does not need a motherfucking combine. The decision was made after basically, I'll just say it. The decision was fucking made after the Florida game. And then it just was solidified after the Cal game. It was done. That was the first pick of the draft. No discussion. That was done. But Shedeur Sanders, clearly, they never believed in. They never liked him as a prospect because they would have drafted him. It's that simple. So why am I bringing this up, and why am I'm talking about the comparison to Cam Ward? Because I already know how a lot of race baiters like to act, and it's race baiting. I'm sorry, but just call it what it is. It's race baiting. The idea that Cam Ward is a good old boy because he doesn't dress in flashy chains. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. He's just very straight-laced and forward about football. Let me make this very clear about Cam Ward. I love this dude, but he chose to play at the University of Miami. Let's start right there. Okay, he chose to play with that school. He led and he basically led a trend of a ridiculous celebration with you guys know what I'm talking about, the fucking hand on your mouth doing the fucking thing with your arm. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. We don't have I don't even know. Is it the ooh you smelly? Is that what we call it? Because we haven't gotten an official name, right? But Cam Ward is very, very about football. But I watched this man's interviews. I've seen what he said, the way he is. He is a very confident, cocky little shit. Don't get it twisted. Cam Ward is about as confident and cocky of a motherfucker as Caleb Williams is. Okay? That's the truth. And that's not a bad or good thing. I'm telling you because it is. And you know what? I'm all right with it because he backs it the fuck up. So go ahead. Be that man. Prove that shit. That's what he does. See, you guys gotta understand. But because they want to again make that narrative, they gotta take that and run with it because he went to the freaking into the draft went to the draft right with no chain right, no chain, no jewelry, nothing. I mean, homeboy was played at the University of Miami here, nothing. That's pretty awesome, by the way. God, I'm gonna miss that boy. I'm gonna miss him, bro. I hate Lance Goodry, by the way, but that's another conversation for another time. But even then, all business. Shedeur Sanders, on the other hand, platinum watches, chains, ridiculous fucking room he's in with all his branding, all this other bullshit, right? All about him. And everyone's going to make the assertion because they already are. Well, Cam Ward's just a straight-laced good old boy, but Shedeur is like a Lamar Jackson. He's just like that. No. The Lamar Jackson thing was an outlier and a mistake. Lamar Jackson was a fuck up on many multiple levels. He was. It happens. But so was Tom Brady, the most straight-laced white guy you're ever going to see in football. Aaron Rodgers was even overlooked a bit in the draft. Aaron fucking Rodgers. It happens. Okay? It does. But granted, Aaron Rodgers, you play at Cal, I mean, you're going to be at the mercy of your school sucking dick. But no offense to Cal fans. No offense. But yeah, that's about it, But and by the way, and so what if he's a second round fucking he didn't go in the first round in the sense of oh it's disrespect to Shedeur. Really? Jalen Hurts went in the second round. Jalen Hurts has done 10 times more in college than fucking Shedeur Sanders ever did. No, let's talk about it. Shedeur Sanders has not done anywhere near the production that Jalen Hurts at 2 colleges has ever done. He's done more than Shedeur Sanders ever has at Oklahoma and at Alabama. We're talking about a national champion here. We're talking about someone who was a Heisman candidate at Oklahoma. This is not someone who's a fucking slouch. He has played in big time moments in college. He's done 10 times more in production than Shedeur Sanders ever has. Oh, second rounder though. Now, granted, it's worked out pretty well, right? So, I don't get it. Oh, because in your mind, Shedeur is he's one of those, so he will. It's a prejudice. It's a thing against black people who act like that. What? They act all flashy? Really? Malik Neighbors was going to strip clubs like an idiot. And Malik Neighbors was a top pick. Oh, that's right. Malik Neighbors is a fucking ridiculous prospect. So you put up with it. He's the best wide receiver prospect in the draft at this point. We will see if Marvin Harrison can get on point. But yeah, this is funny to me. The excuses y'all are making. Mel Kiper making all these excuses. And the reality is you just don't listen to scouts. You don't listen to players who are telling you things. You don't listen to scouts or players who are telling you things. You don't listen. And then you guys are like sitting here surprised Pikachu face. Jackson Dart got picked over Shedeur. How? Because Jackson Dart has more pro intangibles and more pro ability, according to scouts, than Shedeur Sanders does. Could that be wrong? Sure. For the record, I don't like Jackson Dart. I'm surprised that Jackson Dart's a first round draft pick. I said that I was shocked that Jackson Dart was at. Here's my thing. I didn't think Jackson Dart was going to be a top 2 round quarterback coming out of college when maybe in his junior year. Senior year, I was like, are we sure he's a draft prospect? There's just things that you question. But again, he has a better arm than Shedeur. He has size. He has played in bigger games than Shedeur Sanders. So his tape is going to be graded against actual real competition. I mean, he played Georgia. He fucking played he played schools like Georgia. He went to the Swamp. These are really good things that you can put on tape. You know what I mean? And I don't even like Jackson Dart. I don't. I do not have drafted that dude. But again, the Giants didn't want Shedeur Sanders. The Giants wanted Cam Ward. Titans said, fuck off. Giants said, all right, we're going to take Abdul Carter. Who needs to shut the fuck up with that number 56 shit? You got to keep your mouth shut about that, dog. I'm just telling you, letting that be known. Stop. No, you're not getting number 56. I don't know what crack you're smoking. No. Wrong city to say that shit in. Wrong place. They're going to look at you cross-eyed, bro. Stop that shit. They are side-eyeing you for that. Stop it. No, you're not getting 51. You could maybe get 11 from Phil Simms. But it's not 51, 56, my bad. But you ain't getting 56. And if you don't know why, hey, I don't know why you're watching this video if you don't know shit about football, because anyone that knows the first basics of football knows why you don't wear 56 in New York as a Giant. Because, motherfucker, that's Lawrence Taylor's number. LT, the greatest defensive weapon, player, anything of all time. And ain't no one going to debate that shit. So you're not going to wear that number. I'm glad Warren Moon gave up number 1 to Cam. I was actually really surprised by that. I'm actually shocked. But even if Lawrence Taylor offered to give 56 to Abdul Carter, the answer should be still hell fuck no. It's just not feasible, bro. It should never happen. No. And I like Abdul Carter. I had him very high on my board. I think he's the best. I think he's the best prospect defensively in the draft. I would have taken him over freaking Travis Hunter, in my opinion. He's gonna be great. But nah, dude, no, not 56. Get that shit out your head, bro. My eyes almost came out my head. I'm like, what? Are you out your mind? But that was funny. But yeah, they didn't want Shedeur at all. The fact that they went for Cam, swung and missed, and then decided to trade back in the first round to get Jackson Dart, that should tell you all you need to know. Granted, I don't know why they traded up. I don't know. Maybe I don't think there were other teams going for it. I think the Rams, honestly, bluffed them. And this is what people need to understand about the draft. There's a lot of bluffing going on. Now I get it. Sean McVay didn't want to draft. I thought he actually wanted to draft Jackson Dart. No, Sean McVay was trolling, and I think that the Rams basically were fleecing everyone, and teams got a little desperate. Now the Rams didn't. I don't think traded with. No, they actually got a trade from who? What was it? The Eagles? Yeah, I think it was the Eagles. I can't remember for sure. Or the Browns? Was it the Browns? No, it was the Eagles, right? No, I think it was the Eagles. I can't remember. But yeah, basically how I would put that. But yeah, Shedeur Sanders isn't as. First of all, he just isn't as good a prospect as you guys tried to make him out to be. Put it this way, Bo Nix has done 10 times more than him in college, and I thought people were raking on Bo Nix because we were using his Auburn tape, and I apologize for that. I admit I was very wrong about Bo Nix. I'm shockingly wrong about that. I will admit that I was completely fucking wrong. You know, but also he went to a phenomenal situation too. I mean, that also will tell you how good Sean fucking Payton is. Sean, and not to rip on Drew Brees or anything. Drew Brees is a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks ever throw football. No. That's not just not taking anything away. But I think people have this notion that Sean Payton would somehow suffer without Drew Brees and that he's just a Drew Brees merchant. Yeah, no, he's not. Sean Payton is a Hall of Fame coach for a reason, and he is one of the greatest offensive minds in football, and that is not debatable. And what he's done with Bo Nix has been nothing short of an amazing job. But Shedeur Sanders is not anywhere near a prospect Bo Nix is, and Bo Nix was not taken in the top 10. He's not anywhere near a prospect Michael Penix is. He's not anywhere near a prospect that Drake May, Jaden Daniels, or Caleb Williams is. He's not. He is nowhere near the prospect any of these players are in any sense. And I said this then. I said Cam Ward is being undervalued because he played at Washington State, and I've been right the whole time. Now, we will see if he gets picked in the second round. I will say if he doesn't get picked by the Browns in the first pick of the second round, he's in trouble. I think the Browns will actually make the move. I think you kind of have to take a flyer on him in the sense of you have nothing else to go on. And next year's draft, I don't know what you're going to be looking at. I really don't. Joe Flacco could be a bridge QB, but I don't think it's going to really fly for more than a year, guys. Just going to keep it real. We're going to have answer some questions, to say the least. But that's about it. I mean, I don't know what the Steelers are doing. I thought they would actually went and drafted Dart, but apparently they didn't have him high on their board. I don't know, but they have no one. They have Mason Rudolph at quarterback, so I don't know what's going on. And even if you get Aaron Rodgers, you're pinning your hopes to someone that's as reliable as Mason Rudolph starting. So that's how I put that. But yeah, Shedeur basically it's his own fault. I mean, and this isn't the fucking only shit I could bring up, which is with the draft shit. Dude, you know how much fucking shit that this man's done in college is just dumb? You know? Remember the shit he did with where he was shitting on his teammates in the offseason? You think teams wanna have that problem? You think teams want to draft players who do shit like that? Because he did that. He ripped on players in the program. He ripped on his offensive line publicly. I think multiple times. These are things that do matter. And again, if you're not talented enough to bypass that shit, and you're not a star-studded fucking prospect like Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels or fucking even Drake May, if you're not anywhere near that level, if you're not Justin Herbert, if you're not that type of fucking quarterback, you're not Cam Newton or goddamn Andrew Luck type of shit. If you're not that type of talent, bro, you're not going to bypass it. And I'm sick of hearing this, because we all know what's going on. Motherfucker, Cam Newton had as many character red flags as the United States flag. That's how much red was on that shit. Guess what? He was still drafted number 1 because he's that fucking talent. He's that good. So the Panthers drafted him anyways. And he did have character issues early on in Carolina. The camera woman issue, just dumb shit like that. Okay? But yet Cam Newton still got drafted number 1. And I'm sorry, is he any less flamboyant than fucking Shedeur here? This dude dresses like a goddamn cartoon pimp. So I don't know where we're getting this bullshit from. I don't understand why you guys are making up these narratives, but it's pretty simple. It ain't because he's a black man, and it ain't because he's a black man with the culture, if you know what I mean. Because I know how y'all like to do that. Yet you forget Cam Newton got drafted number 1 overall. If that was the case, Cam Newton would never have been drafted number 1 overall, right? That's right. No, the truth is this. Shedeur Sanders is just not that great of a prospect. There was a lot of fucking propaganda, propagated by his father mostly, and a lot of people just overinflated this kid. And that's not his fault. But, dude, let's just be real. You went to Colorado. You didn't have you were given a spotlight immediately. You have been bypassed a lot in college. You've been bypassed a lot of criticism in college. But if you look at the tape, man, it's not great. Scouts have been trying to tell you guys this, that he's not that great of a prospect. So we'll see if he gets drafted in the second round. In fact, I'm going to say it like this before I go. He's not even half the prospect Geno Smith was coming out of college. Straight the fuck up. Let's keep it a buck. He's nowhere near Geno Smith coming out of college. Nowhere near it. He really isn't. It's not even close. And Geno Smith was a second rounder, deemed a bust. Granted, great little comeback story, and I'm happy for him. Great comeback story. But, and it's a big but, he had character concerns, attitude issues, and it showed in New York. It showed. He had to humble himself later in his career, and it worked out for himself. But it's the same shit. So people getting all mad and shit, I don't understand why. Again, Jalen Hurts has done 3 times as much as Shedeur Sanders has in college. That is not debatable. That isn't even, put as a fact, okay? It's a fact. All right, Jalen Hurts is 10 times the college quarterback and prospect than Shedeur was. Second rounder. Second round for a dude that won a national title, for a dude that was a Heisman candidate, for a dude that put up all the numbers he did at Oklahoma. Second round prospect. And he's a Super Bowl champion. So hey. So if he proves everyone wrong, great. Awesome. But this is Shedeur's own fault anyways. Someone like Jalen Hurts, who was just a nice team-oriented player, someone who had a clean record, like a phenomenal teammate, he still won second round. This dude was a saint. Second round. But you guys are sitting here mad trying to make up narratives for a dude that spurned interviews in the top 5, that didn't go to the combine, that disrespected his teammates multiple times. These are things you guys tried to accuse Caleb Williams of doing last year. Why he's a shitty cancer to the team and he's a prima donna. Shedeur Sanders is doing those things out loud. But yet, it's a conspiracy. Shut the fuck up, man. I'm so sick of this shit. Y'all, this is propaganda, if anything, just for fucking the Sanders bullshit. All right? And fuck Deion Sanders too. I'm so sick of his ass too. This is his fault. For real. You LeVar Ball, you're like the LeVar Ball of like football, but even then, the Ball family actually had talented players. They were legit. Say what you want, but Lonzo Ball and LaMelo Ball, they were legit talents. And they have NBA careers for a reason. I mean, I feel for Lonzo, dude. I actually feel for Lonzo because he got a lot of hate for nothing he ever did. He never said anything. He was nothing like Shedeur. He didn't rip on his teammates. He didn't do shit. His dad's a dumbass. That's fucking for show. LaMelo's kind of stupid, but that's whatever. But like Lamar, why am I forgetting this goddamn name? Then his fucking name, Lonzo. Lonzo, to me, was like the picture perfect prospect in terms of like doing absolutely nothing wrong and being a legit good player and a legit good teammate. And I really was rooting for his career to take off a little more. And it was going to, but then he got a fucking horrible injury, man. He got such a really bad injury. It broke my heart. And I root for him still. Because he's a good fucking player and a good dude. He's not a shitty fucking, he's nothing like that. You know? But Shedeur Sanders is the opposite. Again, everything you guys accuse Caleb Williams of doing, Shedeur Sanders has done in spades. He has done it. Bad teammate, Shedeur Sanders has done it publicly. Shit on his teammates, Shedeur Sanders has done it publicly. Brash, bold, arrogant attitude, Shedeur Sanders, Shedeur Sanders, Shedeur Sanders. Everything, man. It's funny how the media will protect certain people who do the exact same things they shit on other players for allegedly doing. Right? That's how funny this shit is to me. You guys did this shit all hell last year with Caleb, didn't you? But I mean, I'm here right now trying to remind you all. He ain't done anything wrong since that you guys made those allegations on him that were wrong. Oh, he cried in his mom's arms. Oh God. Oh, okay. All right. He cares about he cares about football. He's emotional about football. Oh God. I guess Michael Jordan is a coward now because he cried in the locker room after his dad died and he won a title. Are you guys like, I think you guys are stuck on like stupidity. You really are. Like a lot of you are just stuck on your biases that you don't even see how fucking stupid you look. So y'all be good with y'all. We'll see if he gets drafted, but I just find it funny how Mel Kiper's out here guzzling this dude All you guys making up excuses and all this bullshit, and he's done the exact same things you guys are chastising some of these other prospects for allegedly doing. So good to know where we're stand on that bullshit. I do wish I do wish the best for the dude. I don't hate Shedeur Sanders. I just hate the hypocrisy, and I just hate how you guys just fucking make shit up for your narratives.
Please like, share and subscribe for more content. Also support other channels affiliated with this one. I have no channels affiliated with this channel. Sonic the Hedgehog is a beta male. Shut up, Bianca.